stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota, specializing in tasks like bathing.
Service Master of Pier is your go-to service experts for a wide variety of cleaning needs. Since 2003, we have developed the most effective methods and products to service virtually every type of industry. We're known for our exceptional carpet and upholstery cleaning, but did you know we also offer cleaning of all types of flooring, along with providing fire and water restoration, commercial cleaning, janitorial services, and construction cleanup. Service Master of Pier is a proud sponsor of TF Riggs Governors and Lady Govs, as well as Stanley County Buffaloes and Lady Buffs activities.
Most people don't think about their furnace until it's not working, but we do. At Pite Service Experts, we are trained to see what others miss. Airflow restrictions, pressure imbalances, heat exchanger flaws. That's how we catch little issues before they become cold nights and costly repairs. Because keeping your home warm takes more than just a toolbox. Our certified technicians will get your system running at peak condition. Call Pite Service Experts for our special $99 precision tune-up today. Call 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor, and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies, such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Welcome to Bowie Foods at Al's Oasis Plaza. My great-grandfather, Gus Bowie, opened the first store in 1905. I'm R.F. Bowie, the president of Bowie Foods. We aren't your typical store. You'll find everything you need for your family. You'll save money, and I promise you're going to enjoy your grocery shopping experience. We carry a lot of locally produced products and some things you just aren't going to find anywhere else. South Dakota owned, family owned, Bowie Foods.
When you're in the need for high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the part you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
Being a part of a community means sharing the history and future of the people all around them. For 115 years, First Fidelity Bank has been doing just that, helping you get the most out of life by providing the services and tools you need, the conveniences and technology you want, and the friendly faces you expect. So you get everything you need right here in the place you call home. Now and for many years to come. First Fidelity Bank.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Do you want to join one of the oldest established organizations in Fort Pierre? Perhaps you are more interested in protecting the future. Whatever your position, the Fort Pierre Volunteer Fire Department is for you. We are responsible for fire protection in Fort Pierre and Stanley County. Become part of this amazing team by stopping down at the fire hall and discussing enrollment. We are not just limited to adults, as we have a new cadet program for students ages 14 to 18. For more information, click on our banner ad on the homepage. From everyone at the fire hall, go Buffs!
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
This is coverage of area high school sports on KGFX, DRGnews.com, and the DRG News app. It's time for the pregame on KGFX.
Thank you, Chuck, and welcome into the Bank West pregame show. I'm Justin Cowart, getting you set for some high school volleyball coverage here on KGFX, which brings us to Fort Pierre, where the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes look to pull off an upset against a very solid Kadoka area Cougars team. It's going to be an exciting matchup. Both teams taking the floor 15 minutes or so away from first serve. Big thanks to Brian Menning on the camera tonight. If you're watching on DRGnews.com at the KGFX station page, and Ms. Haley Hansen back in the studio, keeping us up on air. Stanley County looking to close out the regular season strong with just a few games remaining on said schedule. They will take on Kadoka area here tonight. And then as we look ahead towards the rest of the season schedule for Stanley County, they will be taking on Highmore Herald come the 24th. That will be on Friday evening, and you can hear it right here on KGFX. They will close out the season on the 28th. That is regular season against Jones County. Let's look back at a couple of games and get to where the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes have gotten to at this point in the season. They just finished up a 5-set thriller on the road with Dupree. They would go down 3-2 in that matchup. winning set 1 25-18, taking command of set 2 25-11. But Dupree hung tough. They answered back with a 25-23 victory over the Lady Buffaloes in set number 3, a 25-19 victory in set number 4, and in the decisive set number 5, Dupree took it by 2 points, 17-15. Before that, it was a 3-set sweep against Sully Buttes. That was their last home matchup in the past couple of weeks. Before they lost to Sully Buttes, it was 3 to Todd County. Their last win on the schedule came on the road against Cologne. They won in 3 straight sets and in dominant fashion. Before that, it was a 3-set loss to Mobridge Pollock, 25-20, 25-18, 25-11. I believe that's the last time for volleyball, at least, that I've had the pleasure of calling some Stanley County sports here on KGFX. Of course, we just got done with the Stanley County Buffaloes football season as they went on the road. A commanding victory over Gettysburg just wasn't enough seed formula points to get the Buffaloes into the postseason here coming up on Thursday evening. But a couple of those football players, since they don't have practice tonight, are here in the building to root on the Lady Buffaloes. Good crowd, getting better by the minute, and the folks making their way here over to Parkview. I want to remind you, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds you to slow the drive, arrive alive. You've got someplace to be, and that someplace is right here inside of Parkview for this really exciting matchup between the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes and Kadoka area. Also, a big thanks to all of our great sponsors for bringing us high school volleyball coverage here tonight on KGFX. Adavera Health, First Dakota National Bank, Access Health, the Stanley County Booster Club, Zander Auto Parts, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Bauman Lumber, Birding Electric, and Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union. If you're listening live on KGFX, we want to remind you, we also have multiple games going on across most of our stations on any given night, including tonight, 2 other volleyball matches taking place on River 92.7 and KPLO. Go ahead, download the DRG News app. You'll be able to bounce around from game to game, make your listening experience much more streamlined and much more enjoyable. Well, let's take a look quickly at the Kadoka area Cougars and the great campaign they've put together here in 2025. Kadoka area currently sitting with a regular season record, a very impressive season record of 23-7. As we take a quick look back at the last couple weeks for the Cougars, it's been about 4 straight wins in a row. They beat Jones County in 3 straight sets. Before that, it was White River in 3. Hardin County was a 4-set win for the Cougars. Before that, New Underwood was a 3-set sweep. They would lose in 3 straight sets to St. Thomas More, a great volleyball squad that sits at 25-9 on the season. They would get wins against Lyman, Lee Deadwood, Bison, Newell, Ford, Rushville, and again, Jones County. And this Cougars team poised to make a playoff push, but of course they have got some things going on with their squad, much like the Stanley County Buffaloes do in terms of setup, in terms of keys to success, in terms of what they're going to look for to get the win here tonight. Perfect time to get to our Buff Nation keys to success. Before we do that, let's hear a word from our great friends who sponsor our keys to success, our great friends at Buff Nation.
Buff Nation is proud to support and serve area athletics and the Stanley County Buffaloes this season. Buff Nation never stops giving back, and you can become a valued member today with memberships starting at $30. Membership fees include Buff Nation decals, discounted ticketing to events, free concession stand items, and so much more. If you are interested in becoming a member of Buff Nation, please contact Tate Gabriel at 605-222-5537.
And a big thanks to Buff Nation for sponsoring our Keys to Success. And as always, with our Keys to Success, we start with the visiting team, the Kadoka area Cougars. That was nice. I got to chat with their head coach, Maggie Thompson, down on the floor, along with her assistant coach, Caitlin Schofield, before the game. And, I said, Coach, you put together a really solid season thus far. Is there anything that can kind of get in the way of your own team's success? And she said a little bit with kind of a laugh and a smirk, yeah, ourselves. They've moved some players around to different positions a couple weeks ago, getting them set in some different spots. But as she was telling me this, she also said, you know what, if you don't know how to play a certain position on the floor, well, we need to evaluate things. It was pretty funny, but she's got a really talented squad and wanting to move those players around to some different spots on the floor. And part of that reason is she wants them to be ready for postseason play as well. You never know when the injury bug could hit. God forbid it happens to either of these teams as they close out the regular season and get closer to postseason play. but she wants to make sure that her team feels that they are comfortable in playing in different positions, no matter where they are on the floor or at what point in the match that they get instituted into those newer positions. So if you've been following Kadoka area volleyball all throughout the season, well, you might see a little bit of a different rotation here tonight for the Cougars. For Stanley County and the Lady Buffaloes, it was very simple for TJ Draga. She said she wants high energy tonight. That is going to be a key for her team. They're trying to pull off this upset victory here on their home floor. So she wants them to be communicating. That is something that we have seen a growth with this Stanley County Lady Buffalo team over the past couple of weeks, is better communication out on the floor. And with that communication, she says that she wants her team to be loud. So we're going to be looking for a lot of talking, a lot of screaming from the back line up to the front line for Stanley County and the Lady Buffaloes tonight. They're going to try to communicate their way into an upset victory. We're less than 10 minutes away here from first serve in our Bank West pregame show. And we've got a lot more to get to, so don't go anywhere. We'll come right back. We'll introduce you to our game officials. We'll meet our starting lineups, and we'll get this thing underway. You're listening to the Bank West pregame show ahead of Kadoka area paying a visit to the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes on a gorgeous Tuesday night here at Parkview on KGFX and streaming live. DRGnews.com.
There when you need them the most. Bank West insurance agents Sam Kenneke and Angie Taylor are here to make your life easier.
As an independent agency, we're able to customize an insurance plan to fit your individual needs.
We work with dozens of companies to find you the best possible coverage and the best price.
For your insurance needs, contact Sam or Angie at Bank West Insurance and Pier. Bank West, convenient, connected, committed. Insurance products are not deposits, not FDIC insured, not insured by any federal agency, not guaranteed by any bank, and may go down in value.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports, from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it in time for this game. See live and archive video of all games, and when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota high school sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play. Access Health Fort Pierre welcomes new and established patients, offering chronic and acute care for all ages, including evaluations for illness and injuries, immunizations, lab testing, wellness exams, and DOT and sports visits. Same-day appointments are available, and most major insurances are accepted. Good luck this season, athletes, from Access Health Fort Pierre, assuring access to quality health care.
Venture Communications is proud to sponsor high school sports and the surrounding communities by providing world-class service with a hometown touch. Venture Communications has been offering phone service since 1952. Today, Venture provides fiber-to-home service for 100% of their customers, which means super fast internet streaming of your favorite games and much more. Visit VentureCom with 2 M's, venturecom.net for more information or to pay your bill online.
At First Dakota, we don't like to brag about ourselves. So when Forbes named us South Dakota's best bank again, we faced a dilemma. Thankfully, we have the state's best customers, so we're happy to brag about them instead. After all, they inspire us every day. The farmers, the business owners, the families. Without them, we'd be just another bank. So thank you to all of our amazing customers. We wouldn't be here without you. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
We're passionate about getting yearly mammograms because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. You can get a yearly mammogram to detect it early. Would it help if I requested nicely? Please, could you be so kind as to get a mammo? Or singing it. Get your mammogram starting at 40. Or with a British accent. Schedule your mammo with an Avera Breast Center at avera.org/breast or call 888-422-1410.
Welcome back into the Bank West pregame show. You heard it there. It's time to get scheduled for your yearly mammograms in the Kadoka area. Cougars and the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes are showing their support and showing their awareness as they are rocking the pink. It's We dig pink in October here, and pink strewn all throughout. And then, of course, for Stanley County, tomorrow is Unity Day. So make sure you throw on some orange to show your support. Trying to end bullying is something that's been going on across the state. And, well, Stanley County, the folks in Fort Pierre, and across the state of South Dakota, and especially in central South Dakota, are going to be rocking the orange. I won't be calling the game here, so I made sure to throw on my orange shirt here tonight to show my support for Unity Day. So tomorrow, make sure you respond and throw on some orange. We're going to fight this disease that is bullying throughout these high schools, and not just in the state, but also across the country. Great cause that is being put on tomorrow by the folks at Fort Pierre and the surrounding areas. So make sure you wear your orange tomorrow. Well, folks, we're getting set for this matchup here between Kadoka area and Stanley County. Stanley County down on the floor getting loosened up. We talked a little bit of keys to success from TJ Dragasset and what she expects to see and hear from her team tonight. She mentioned that she wanted to hear some better communication, be loud, be high energy. I think one thing that might do to an opponent is it can make you not certainly feel intimidated. I don't know if intimidated is the right word, but when you look across the floor and you see a team communicating and feeling a bit more organized, what that can do to your opponent is it can kind of throw off their rhythm. And one thing that we have seen a lot of out of Kadoka area through this season is consistent and strong rhythm. TJ Dragasset wants to see that from the Lady Buffaloes tonight. And I would love to see Brecken Hubner involved more on the at the net. She is a dominant force up front, and when they get the ball in her direction, well, she can really do some damage. Another young player for Stanley County that has done some damage and is just outstanding to watch has been Addie Deal, just a sophomore. Addie plays about as tall as Brecken Hubner is. Now, Brecken's about usually the only 6-footer on the floor, and she uses her size to her advantage. She is dominant up front, but Addie Deal, one of the more undersized players, but doesn't play that way. She plays much taller than she actually is. Her flow around the floor is hard to deny. So I'd love to see Brecken Hubner involved a little bit more here for Stanley County tonight, and would love to see Addie Deal just have an Addie Deal game. And much like her brother Paxton Deal had against Gettysburg last Friday night, it was the Paxton Deal show out in Gettysburg. Of course, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Stanley County missing the postseason by just one play. But I say that because I can kind of draw a comparison between the two programs. You know, you watched Stanley County last year and their football program and what they were this year. There was serious and apparent improvement in what they were doing. Now, it may not have correlated in a undefeated season or ripping through the regular season with 6-7 wins, but you could see it in the gameplay. You could see it in some of the final scores. You could see it in the box scores. And we're starting to see that with Stanley County's volleyball program. Yes, I know the win column and the loss column may tell you a little bit of a different story when you compare the two to last year, but I truly feel from seeing this team play in person that we're starting to see that better communication that Coach Dragasset is looking for. You're starting to see the better rhythm, better passing, and better set-ups for those great players up front. So we hope to see that here tonight from Stanley County. And, you know, it's always fun to watch good volleyball. That's why it's always a treat to see this improving Stanley County program. But this is going to be a very, very skilled Kadoka area volleyball squad here tonight. Stanley County is going to have their hands full, but I know they are ready for the test. Let's meet our officials here for tonight's match. Before we do that, a word from our friends who sponsor our introduction of game officials at the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off or non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
And tonight's great officials will be Mr. Justin Peterson and Mr. Davis Grooms, rather. And it was nice to catch up with Justin Peterson. He was actually one of the host families for one of my great friends, Dylan Beach, who was our Zap broadcaster. So big thanks to both Justin Peterson and Davis Grooms for being our officials tonight. And a big thanks to the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection. The law on the field tonight, the law on the court, is brought to you by the Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection. And I also wanted to mention that the SDHSA is always looking for more great officials. So if you ever thought about getting involved, now is the time. Well, we're going to step away. They're going to introduce the starting lineups down on the floor and sing the national anthem. We'll tell you who's starting on the other end of this break. We're going to step away to honor the flag. When we come back, it's time for First Serve between Stanley County and Kadoka area, live on KGFX and streaming live on drgnews.com. Stanley County Booster Club invites you to participate in Unity Day, Wednesday, October 22nd.
Dropping, but the deals are heating up at Grosenberg Implement. All used wheeled and tracked skid steers are now 2.99% for 48 months. Get the power you need to tackle those end-of-year projects, whether it's clearing up the yard, moving snow, or prepping for calving season. Stop in today and get your hands on a hard-working skid steer before the snow flies. For qualified buyers, 30% down payment or equivalent trade-in required. See dealer for complete details. Rosenberg Implement. Service, the other half of a great product.
Kougars helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at kougars.com. Kougars, proudly serving our community.
Service Master of Pier is your go-to service experts for a wide variety of cleaning needs. Since 2003, we have developed the most effective methods and products to service virtually every type of industry. We're known for our exceptional carpet and upholstery cleaning, but did you know we also offer cleaning of all types of flooring, along with providing fire and water restoration, commercial cleaning, janitorial services, and construction cleanup. Service Master of Pier is a proud sponsor of TF Riggs Governors and Lady Govs, as well as Stanley County Buffaloes and Lady Buffs activities.
Most people don't think about their furnace until it's not working, but we do. At Pite Service Experts, we are trained to see what others miss. Airflow restrictions, pressure imbalances, heat exchanger flaws. That's how we catch little issues before they become cold nights and costly repairs. Because keeping your home warm takes more than just a toolbox. Our certified technicians will get your system running at peak condition. Call Pite Service Experts for our special $99 precision tune-up today. Call 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Proceeds to a local charity. Oahe Federal Credit Union, 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pier.
And a great sign of patriotism during the break. The national anthem was in its final couple of lyrics and the sound cut out, so the crowd here inside of Parkview picked up where the recording left off and finished off the national anthem with our own beautiful rendition, and certainly put a smile on everybody's face here inside the building, and a lot of smiles around as the Lady Buffaloes toss out some shirts and some mini volleyballs. TJ Dragosset getting a free volleyball from Brianna Sargent there as she made it off, and Dragosset kind of throwing her head up laughing, saying, these are for the fans. This is not for me. I'm sure she's got a box full of them, but now she's got another one to add to her collection. Starting lineups being announced down on the floor. We'll start with the Kadoka area Cougars. It'll be Madison Nemechek, Kara Schofield, Haley Porch, and Shaylee Porch side by side. Cassidy Williams, Landon Kane, and Brady Bashan will round out the starting lineups for Kadoka area. As we take a look at the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes starting lineup, very familiar that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. It'll be Carly Brady getting the start alongside Brianna Sargent, who just handed TJ Dragosset a new free mini volleyball. Austin Norman getting the start, a 5'6" junior. Brecken Hubner, a 6'2" senior up front. The one of two seniors alongside Brianna Sargent in this starting lineup for the Lady Buffaloes. Of course, we talked about Addie Deal, the 5'6" sophomore, getting the start here tonight. Jorea Walker and Timber Hansen round out the starting lineup for the Lady Buffaloes. Both teams in their pink. Now, Kadoka area in their road purples with the tops. They've got the black bottoms. The liberos kits or jersey is white. They've got the pink sleeves and a couple pink bows mixed in. As Stanley County is in their home pink jerseys. Great touch that they've had here throughout October. They've got white sleeves, lady buffs across the chest in white, numerals in white, and black bottoms. Final substitutions being made as both teams get their final couple words from their head coaches. It's Timber Hansen getting a word or two before she steps on the floor from TJ Dragasset. And over on the Kadoka area bench, it's Maggie Thompson talking to some of her bench players, saying, stay ready, we might need you tonight. And like she said, maybe in a couple new positions. High school volleyball coverage on KGFX as we creep past the 7:30 hour here on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Justin Peterson tosses it in. Carly Brady will be the first to serve for the Lady Buffaloes. Buffaloes will be attacking from left to right on your radio dial. Cougars from right to left. We're set up here in the near side corner, and we are underway as the first serve sends back the back line of the Cougars. Quickly swung back across, dug out by Timber Hansen. Carly Brady with the second touch. Hansen swings across from the knees with the save. Is a nice play there from Alexa Fernandez, who is tonight's libero for the Cougars. That point goes a little bit long on the kill from Stanley County, and it'll be 1-0 Cougars on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. We're bringing you scores all evening long on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. On the serve to start and getting loud is the Stanley County student section. Shaylee Porch with the serve gets it across, and now she digs out a return from the Lady Buffs. Quickly tossed Huebner with the second touch. Diving save attempt by Brianna Sargent running away from the net. As she slides across the floor, it lands just out in front of her outstretched right arm in front of the student section, who is loud and proud here to start the night early. It's a whiteout for the Stanley County students as it's 2-0 Kadoka area. Porch with her second straight serve. I have it returned back the Cougars' direction. And a kill is true for Madison Nemechek. Nemechek is one of these teams' captains, one of their senior captains, alongside Shaylee Porch. Landon Kane, the third and final senior. A big part of what Maggie Thompson said drives her team. Good serve and an ace for the Cougars, and it's quickly 4-0 on the Wegner Auto scoreboard. TJ Dragasset was returning to her playing days out on the floor directing traffic for her Lady Buffalo squad. Third straight is another ace for Shaylee Porch. She goes left side back corner. A perfectly placed served for one of the senior leaders of this Kadoka area crew. Stanley County certainly has some great leadership, but a lot of it comes from some underclassmen as this serve just a bit long, and Stanley County earns their first point of the evening on a Shaylee Porch service error. 5-1 Kadoka area leads. On to serve now Austin Norman for the Lady Buffs. She'll be serving from coming right up the middle of the paint come basketball season. First touched along the back line by Fernandez. Dug out nicely by Carly Brady. Second touch Hansen. Dumped in by Addie Deal and somehow saved by the Cougars. Point continues on, trying to set up Addie Deal on another kill, but it's just a bit out of her reach and falls just short of the net on the Stanley County side. It's 6-1 Cougars. And now Cassidy Williams, a 5'11 sophomore, will get the serve. Well, they've got three seniors, but they've also got a helping of sophomores as this second touch sent by Brianna Sargent back towards the back line was nowhere to be found by any of her Lady Buffalo's teammates. 7-1 Cougars. And this is one of those runs that TJ Dragasset has to try to avoid with her team. Don't want to let this first set get too far away, especially against a great team like the Cougars. Huber with a nice right-handed swing back the Cougars' direction. Sent across by Shaylee Porch. Dug out first touch by Brianna Sargent, setting up Deal on the kill. Backline save there by Fernandez. Swung back across by Nemechek. Dug out by Deal. Deal with the third touch. Sends it across. Deflected at the net. Dug out again by Porch. Fernandez couldn't get it back across the net, and it bounces back the direction of Cassidy Williams. And the back-to-back touches by Williams is a no-go for Justin Peterson, one of our two officials. So that'll be point Stanley County. They trail 2-7. Brecken Huebner at the line to serve. Fernandez slides to her left, digs it out. Kill attempt at the net, no good for Landon Kane. Had a bit of a mistouch on that right hand. And it was redirected sideways into the netting. And we talked about those long runs by Kadoka area. This would be a very welcomed run here by Stanley County if Brecken Hubner can keep up the good serves. Floats one across to the back line. Fernandez plays it up towards the net, and the kill by Haley Porch is a bit too long. Now Stanley County is chewed back into the 6-point deficit. It's now 4-7 they trail. Hubner with a long, patient look. Now sends it straight lined across Alexa Fernandez's direction. Kill is put into the hands of a blocking Brianna Sargent off the hand of Madison Nemechek. And it was a good block by Sargent, but just couldn't direct it back the Cougars' direction. It went about 90 degrees off to her right and into the fan section. Back behind Davis Grooms on the tower. Serve is sent across by Landon Kane. Nice job there, swinging it back over the head by Jorea Walker. Had her back to the net, still got it across. Point continues on, but a nice kill at the net by Haley Porch. Thought we might have a net violation against the Cougars. Davis Groom says it is not. Jorea Walker with a high five for Carly Brady before they field this next serve, trailing by 5, 9-4 on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. Stanley County in the hole. Serving is Landon Kane. Kane with a calm, cool, and collected right-handed flat-footed serve. Makes its way across, pushed across by Jorea Walker. Diving dig with the left hand by Shaylee Porch keeps this point alive. Carly Brady setting up Walker. Walker's kill is blocked but kept alive along the back line by the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes. Point continuing on, our longest of this first set. Addie Deal trying to end it with a kill. And it's just a bit wide of the far sideline. No, the point didn't go to Stanley County, and they now trail 10-4. But man, is it fun to watch Addie Deal jump through the rafters. Another serve from Landon Kane. Sent across on the third touch by Jorea Walker. Up front with the kill is dug out from Kara Schofield by Timber Hansen. Two-handed swing by Addie Deal back the Cougars' direction, setting up a good-looking kill opportunity. Nice dig by Carly Brady and Timber Hansen. They tag-teamed that one to keep this point alive, and wow, that kill had some force behind it by Madison Nemechek. Good thing Carly Brady was quick and had her head on a swivel. She was able to dodge that impending missile, and it's 11-4, and our first AgTegra timeout is taken by the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes. Acres Ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local AgTegra cooperative today. We'll be back in 30 seconds with the resumption of set number 1. Kadoka area leads Stanley County 11-4.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable.
On the serve with Landon Kane, I'm Justin Cowart, bringing you all the Tuesday night high school volleyball action here on KGFX. It's 11-4 Kadoka area. Who's taking her time is Landon Kane. Kane with a nice serve, but a beautiful diving dig is played up by Stanley County. Wonderful play by Emerson Forrest. Swung back across now by Jorea Walker. Another block at the net by Addie Deal keeps the point alive. Swung along by Carly Brady, but she directed it a couple feet wide, and it lands out of bounds here on the near side. Again, if you're listening on the radio unfamiliar with our setup, we're kind of caddy-cornered up here in this beautiful crow's nest, overlooking a beautiful new hardwood court, I should say. It's just served to the back line for Hansen. Jorea Walker with the third touch. Swings it underhanded across, back to the Cougars. Cougars looking for the back line, and they're going to say it is in, says our corner flagsman. Point Kadoka area makes it 13-4. And I believe it was Kara Schofield on the kill. They've got a just a dynamic duo between Kara Schofield and Madison Nemechek up front. It has made the lives hard on all of their opponents throughout the season. Stanley County just trying to hang around here in this first set, get back on the serve and go on a little bit of a run. But Madison Nemechek with another devastating kill, making it harder and harder. And it's 14-4, the first double-digit lead for either squad here tonight. Kadoka area out in front in set number one. Landon Kane has been on a bit of a run here. By my count, 6 straight serves from Miss Landon Kane. As the point continues on, Timber Hansen comes in from the back line, sets Addie Deal up for the kill. Was it touched? It was not. And it will be a bit long. Makes it 15-4. Austin Norman will check back in. Emerson Forrest will take a seat for Stanley County. Landon Kane just living on this back line, serving here for the Cougars. Norman, who just checked in, somehow gets it towards the back line, and it's swung back across by Stanley County. So Austin Norman had a bit of a misdirected touch on that first play there, and it went towards the back line. Timber Hansen had to sprint almost to the baseline of the basketball court to somehow get it back over her head towards the net. Rhea Walker and Addie Deal couldn't get a pickup on which one got the kill for Stanley County, but it does cut it back to a 10-point deficit, 15-5. Kadoka area out in front. Beautiful dig on the kill attempt from Schofield by Addie Deal. Timber Hansen along the back line with her back to the net, pumps one across, back in the Cougars' direction. Sliding to her right is Kara Schofield, getting the kill over the net, and it's deflected down by Addie Deal and out of play. And it landed on the Stanley County side of things. So it's back to an 11-point lead for Kadoka area. 16-5 on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. Landon Kane off the service, and now Madison Nemechek is on for the Cougars. Jerea Walker with a two-handed push just out of play, trying to just land it kind of in that no man's land zone here on the near side, midway between the net and the back line. A little bit too much mustard on that one for Jerea Walker. Jerea, with those little minuscule mistakes, surely makes up for it with her play in other areas of the match. This kill, another one by Kara Schofield. Hansen couldn't handle it, and it's 18-5 Kadoka area. Timber Hansen with hands on hips. Been working hard back there, trying to get to some of these supremely strong kills by the Cougars. Diving, sliding save by Fernandez. And what a play along the side by Cassidy Williams. She didn't get the point. She got it into Stanley County territory, but she had to bend it around the pole. Did it with the left hand. Somehow just kind of underhand popping it around. She could have gotten it inside the pole. That would have been one of the most miraculous points I've ever seen. But it is a point for Stanley County. And Addie Deal with the serve. Return is deflected by Walker, dug out by Deal, sent across by Norman, but blocked back where it came from by Shaylee Porch. And Kadoka area playing with all the rhythm up front. Leads 19-6. Haley Porch will now serve. Jerea Walker set up by Carly Brady, swings it across. Kill is blocked by Walker. Shaylee Porch tried to send it in. Didn't get as much behind it as I believe she hoped to, but Jerea Walker, right place, right time, gets the block and the point for Stanley County. Walker will get a well-deserved break. Brecken Hubner back into the match for Stanley County, and Timber Hansen serving. Sliding dig, another sliding save, and the third touch is swung across by the Cougars. Good effort on these returns. Little pop shot across by Brecken Hubner. Directive touch by Porch is returned, and Porch climbs the ladder and just dumps it down right in front of Austin Norman. Nothing Norman could have done about that one. That was tailor-made for Shaylee Porch. She makes the Lady Buffaloes pay. 20-7 Kadoka area out in front. Alexa Fernandez with a low line drive serve just barely gets across the net. Swung across by Deal, diving dig, saved by Porch. Shaylee Porch will swing it across. It was passed to her by Haley. And a nice job by Brecken Hubner with the left hand, squeezes it through the outstretched arms of Cassidy Williams. It deflects off the right wrist of Williams and kind of changes the trajectory away from any of her teammates. Carly Brady with the right-handed serve for the Lady Buffs, and it's just a bit long. High IQ played along the back line by Haley Porch. Thought about playing it, but then let it go. Must have heard somebody from either her left or her right saying long, long, long. And it earns the 21st point of this first set. Shaylee Porch with a left-handed serve. Hubner jumps up and kills. What a play by Breckin Hubner. And that, we talked a little bit about it in our Bankwest pregame show. Would love to see some more of that from Breckin Hubner. Dominant force up front, just getting her in good positions and letting her make plays like that will pay off for Stanley County. Alexa Fernandez with the first touch directs it back towards the upper atrium. As a fan made a play on that one. Unfortunately, he's not wearing his Cougars jersey, so the refs were not fooled. That was a nice play made by the fan, though. But 2 consecutive points by Stanley County cuts this deficit back to 11. And as Austin Norman still on the serve, that kill goes... Oh, it does clip the back line. Says the flagsman on the far side, TJ Dragasek, can't believe it. Looked a bit long from up here. Of course, we're way away from it. And a part-time official who's got a perfect view right down the line, but it's a shame Stanley County had a little bit of momentum building there, but Kadoka area back on the serve. Leading 22-10. Addie Deal trying to fit one in over top of that front line to get it to rest along the back line, but it's a bit too long. And Kadoka area 2 points away from taking a commanding victory in set number 1. Sophomore server and Cassidy Williams with a low effort serve. And this one directed back towards the net by Carly Brady, but it finds its way in. And when I say low effort, I mean she makes it look just so easy. It's not that she's not putting effort into it, but it's just smooth as butter, much like this first set has been for Kadoka area. But that was smooth for Breckin Hubner. She gets the kill and directed it and placed it perfectly between Alexa Fernandez and Shaylee Porch along that back line. Perfectly placed by Hubner. She's now on the serve. Stanley County trailing 11-24. This serve since Fernandez backpedaling. Fielded. Laid across by Haley Porch. What a return by the Lady Buffaloes, facilitated by Carly Brady. Point continues on. It's deflected by Jerea Walker. The kill was just a bit too strong from Madison Nemechek, and Kadoka area takes set number 1 at 25-11 on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes with set number 2. You're listening to high school volleyball coverage live on KGFX and streaming live on drgnews.com.
At First Dakota,
when the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
John Hoffman Electric is your neighborhood electrical service contractor, and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies, such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Welcome to Bowie Foods at Al's Oasis Plaza. My great-grandfather, Gus Bowie, opened the first store in 1905. I'm RF Bowie, the president of Bowie Foods. We aren't your typical store. You'll find everything you need for your family. You'll save money, and I promise you're going to enjoy your grocery shopping experience. We carry a lot of locally produced products and some things you just aren't going to find anywhere else. South Dakota owned, family owned, Bowie Foods.
When you're in the need for high-quality replacement auto parts, look no further than Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop in Pierre. Zander's has been servicing the Pierre area for over 40 years. Their professional parts techs can get you the part you need and get you back on the road. Stop by Zander Auto Parts and Machine Shop at 500 West Sioux in Pierre or call 224-9221. Zander's, your source for domestic and foreign auto parts and accessories.
Being a part of a community means sharing the history and future of the people all around you. For 115 years, First Fidelity Bank has been doing just that, helping you get the most out of life by providing the services and tools you need, the conveniences and technology you want, and the friendly faces you expect. So you get everything you need right here in the place you call home. Now and for many years to come. First Fidelity Bank.
Allied Plumbing.
I'm Justin Cowart bringing you live high school volleyball coverage here on KGFX. A dominant set one victory by Kadoka area 25-11. As they have a 1-0 lead here early going as we get set number 2 underway. If you're watching live on drgnews.com, give a big thanks to Brian Menning for working the camera tonight as this starts with an ace from Shaylee Porch. As that left Emerson Forrest kind of staring over at Brianna Sargent, kind of deciding, hey, who wants to take that one? Perfectly placed there by Porch. So we also want to give a big thanks to Haley Hansen for keeping us on the air tonight. Another nice serve by Porch will earn another ace. A tough play there for Brianna Sargent, kind of down at her feet. That ball had some forward spin, just kind of diving as it got across the net. So 2 perfectly placed serves get the Kadoka area out to a 2-0, now a 3-0 set number 2 lead. Another tough play for Brianna Sargent. Down low, TJ Dragasset giving some encouraging words there. I wouldn't hang my head if I'm Brianna Sargent. You look across and see Shaylee Porch serving. That is a difficult task as this serve goes about a ball's length too long. Stanley County is on our Wegner Auto scoreboard, trailing 3-1. Carly Brady on to serve. Brady's serve carrying a little bit of forward spin itself. First played by Haley Porch. Still is set up on the far side for Landon Kane, but that's too long. Stanley County has cut this deficit to 1. Carly Brady looking for the tie. Stanley County has yet to lead in this match tonight. Carly Brady's serve won't get it done a couple feet too far as that one sailed the full length of the court, bounced in between the back line and the doors leading out to the lobby area. Now on to serve with a 4-2 lead is Cassidy Williams. 3 aces to start this second set for Kadoka area. This one will be returned by the Lady Buffaloes and Emerson Forrest. Kill is deflected nicely by Hubner at the net, setting up a kill for Addie Deal, but it's deflected down the elevator shaft on the Stanley County side. Credit Landon Kane for that block at the net, and it's 5-2 Kadoka area. I think for TJ Dragasset, she would love to, even if they don't have the lead, just kind of stick around in this match, and that serve will be a bit too far from Kadoka area. So he cuts the deficit back down to 2. And now Addie Deal on to serve for the Lady Buffs. Austin Norman will check in for Forrest. Along that front line now, it's Brianna Sargent, Brecken Hubner joined by Norman. Addie Deal along the back line with a nice side spinning serve. Sends Fernandez down to 2 knees to dig it out. Pushed across with the right hand by Nemechek. Timber Hansen trying to avoid the official in that far side corner. Got to it, but couldn't get enough pace on it to get it across the net. It's a 3-point lead for Kadoka area. And Landon Kane, who went on a blistering service the last time around. Blistering service stretch. I count 8 straight serves for Kane or last time around. Another beauty dug out by a sliding pancake of Timber Hansen. Dumped in by Brecken Hubner, and that's a point for the Lady Buffaloes. All started by Timber Hansen, who came flying up off that back line, put her body on the line to dive across the hardwood, somehow got the right hand underneath it. And Hubner was able to get the kill, and now Hubner will look for an ace on her first serve. This one is dug out by Madison Nemechek. Nemechek backpedaling with a third touch, gets it across, pushed back the Cougars' direction by Addie Deal. Nemechek with her kill into the net, no good, and it's a 1-point deficit for the Lady Buffaloes, trailing 5-6 here in set number 2. Hubner looking to tie things up. Kougars twirls it in the left hand, serves it with the right. Fernandez, the libero, has been busy. Dumped in, beautifully done by Kara Schofield over the head of Brianna Sargent and Jorea Walker. And I don't blame Walker or Sargent for playing that the way that they did. It has been nothing but vicious kills from Nemechek all night long, and she just kind of pulled the reversal card and softly floated it over the two. Make it 7-5. Serve comes across, forcefully pushed back in the Cougars' direction by Deal. Rising up for the kill is Porch, deflected away by Jorea Walker, but just a bit out of bounds. Masterful job on the block there by Walker, but a bit unfortunate on the deflection. Just barely traveled out of play. Hansen trying to get out of the way of that serve. Couldn't elude it in time. And it careened off of her chest and out of bounds. So Madison Nemechek will get the ace. And now Davis Grooms and Justin Peterson will have a discussion. Seems like a good time to take an Agtegra timeout. We won't go to break. We'll stay right here, but we will remind you that Acres Ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. Not sure what this discussion between our officials entails, but it has concluded and it will stay Point Kadoka area. So 8-5 now turns 9-5 on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. Cougars stretching out their largest lead of this second set. Still on the serve for the Cougars after the ace. It's Madison Nemechek. Nemechek with another nice serve, kind of handcuffs Timber Hansen, but the skill of Hansen was able to jostle it free. Sends up for Walker, who swings it across. Kill coming, and kill is good for Shaylee Porch. Timber Hansen dove to her left, trying to save it. And straight down into the hardwood, 10-5, Cougars extending their lead. Nemechek, a 5'7" senior. Another beautiful dig from Timber Hansen. Addie Deal with her back to the net, swings it across. Looking for another kill is Kara Schofield. Dug out by Hansen, pushed across by Norman, and touched twice by Shaylee Porch. Point Lady Buffs, they cut the deficit to 4. So now checking in for the Lady Buffs is Mila Keefe. Keefe will serve. Keefe with a deep breath. Right-handed service just a bit too long as Madison Nemechek watches it sail. And as quickly as Mila Keefe checks in, she checks out. And Brianna Sargent will check back in. Not bad for a day's work from Mila Keefe. She and Brecken Hubner share a nice moment there on the bench. Meanwhile, Haley Porch with a serve is sent back into the net by the Lady Buffaloes. Lead is up to 6 for Kadoka area. Haley Porch again serving. Serving from the near side. Kadoka area set up on the right side of your radio dial if you're listening on KGFX. Austin Norman's kill is blocked back in to the Stanley County side of the floor by Shaylee Porch. 13-6 Kadoka area. Haley Porch still serving. Carly Brady setting up Walker. Walker's kill popped up by Nemechek. Played by Williams and swung back across by Nemechek again. Kept alive by the Lady Buffs. Addie Deal swings the Cougars' direction. And the kill is into the net and blocked away from Shaylee Porch. Point for the Buffaloes. Ball never got to their side of the floor. Net got in the way for Porch. So now Emerson Forrest checks in for Stanley County. Forrest with a right-handed serve. Gets its way to Fernandez here on the near side corner. Nemechek. The long send across midway between the back line and the net. Still on the Cougars side. Another kill is dug out by the Lady Buffaloes. Emerson Forrest. Addie Gill swings across, just barely missing the rafters as it travels the Kadoka area direction. Beautiful block at the net by Deal. Kept alive by the Cougars. Two-handed shove across by Williams. Carly Brady responds with a two-hand shove of her own. Left-hand swing back across twice now by Cassidy Williams and still kept alive by the Lady Buffs. They're trying to set it up. Timber Hansen running away from the net. Saves it along the back line. Another long volley here from both squads. Beautiful save by Walker with the right hand. Kill attempt dug out from Shaylee Porch. Pushed up by Nemechek. Swung Schofield's direction. Her kill blocked at the net and unable to be saved by Timber Hansen. The deflection came from Brady and Walker at the net. But man, a skillful point from both sides makes it 14-7. Kadoka area out in front. They have a 1-0 set lead in the match and a 7-point lead here in set number 2. Walker with a kill, somehow saved with the right hand by Haley Porch. Just stuck it up and said, look what I found. The kill across by Shaylee Porch is deflected and down onto the own side by Jo Rhea Walker. Walker looking a little peeved right now. She's in the right places at the right time. Just can't seem to get the right touch on it, and I can't seem to get the right words. As Addie Dill swings in Nemechek's direction. Set up beautifully for Shaylee Porch. Diving dig by Brianna Sargent, unable to swing across as it bounces out of bounds right at the feet of the Lady Buffaloes bench. Kadoka area makes it 16-7. Alexa Fernandez on the serve. That one clips the top of the net and drops in front of a diving Sargent. And a timeout taken by TJ Dragaset. Stanley County trailing 17-7 in set number 2. We'll take this Agtegra timeout with the Lady Buffs. Remind you, acres ahead can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Kadoka area leading 17-7. KGFX.
Is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
Do you have a pest?
Lady Buffaloes trailing by 10 points here in set number 2. Kadoka area took set number 1 by a score of 25-11. Welcoming you back into the broadcast booth. I'm Justin Cowart here on a Tuesday night. Picking up some Stanley County Lady Buffalo volleyball. We'll have their match on Friday night. So they will get set to take on Highmore Herald right here in this building. Timber Hansen with a return into the net, and Timber Hansen pounding her fist against her forehead, saying, come on, Timber, put it up and get it over. Tell you what, though, Timber Hansen, much like Jo Rhea Walker with some of those minuscule mistakes, more than makes up for it with her play. Timber Hansen does so and then some with some of the effort plays she has made tonight, as this is swung back across by Carly Brady. And they're setting up for a beautiful block by Addie Deal. Sent Landon Kane's kill right back where it came from. Kept alive by the Cougars. Brady trying to set up Deal yet again. That one's pushed across softly by Deal. Third touch by Nemechek down at the feet of Emerson Forrest. Nothing she could do about that. I'll tell you, something that Nemechek is so poised in doing is getting these kills with some forward rotation, making it very difficult for any Stanley County Lady Buffaloes to return. 19-7 Cougars. Looking for the kill shots here in set number 2, and there's a kill shot from Cassidy Williams. That kill went straight down the barrel of the gun, right back in Jo Rhea Walker's direction. And again, Walker left shaking her head, knowing that she was where she needed to be. There's just nothing that she could do about that kill. Hansen sends back the touch, played up, and played back, blocked by Addie Deal. Landon Kane with the third touch was looking for the kill, but Addie Deal got in the way. And Deal using that great elevation to get her arms leaning ever so slightly forward to change the trajectory of that kill downward at the feet of the Cougars. 20-8, Kadoka area with the lead. Softly dumped in, but saved by Carly Brady. Deal with a kill, popped up by Porch. And another nice block at the net. This time it's Hubner alongside Carly Brady, making it 9-20. Timber Hansen will serve again. Hanson, the Stanley County libero, with a nice serve. Played first by Porch, swung along by Fernandez. Back to Timber Hanson. Harley Brady with the second touch. Huebner with the swing. Laid up by Williams. Kill coming in, and a beauty by Shaylee Porch. I know we've talked a lot about Addie Deal's great jumping power. Kadoka area Cougars have that, and then some in both Porches. Kara Schofield and Nemechek. Beautiful dig by Hanson to avoid the ace, but it's touched 4 times by the Lady Buffaloes. There's actually 2 diving pancake saves by the Buffaloes in that sequence. 22-9. I'm not sure where I got 14, but I know number 14 is serving here for the Cougars. Dug out by Sargent, swung across on the second touch by Brady. Beautiful block on the kill at the net from Nemechek by Huebner. Kadoka area was able to keep it alive. Huebner swings it back the Cougars' direction, setting up another kill, this time successful for Landon Kane. Hanson did all she could do to get contact on that. Now the Cougars are 2 points away from a more commanding victory in set number 2 than they had in their 25-11 set victory in number 1. Shaylee Porch with a left-handed serve. Setting up Huebner, blocked at the net. Does it clip the line? They say it does not. Beautiful job up front by Brecken Huebner. Nemechek trying to get the kill, but it was a couple inches out of play right in front of the Stanley County bench, 23-10. Carly Brady on the serve here for the Lady Buffaloes trailing. Brady serve sails a couple feet too long. So now the Cougars just 1 point away, leading 24-10. Cassidy Williams, that effortless serve that we were talking about. So crisp. Huebner with a kill, blocked at the net, and a beautiful job done by Haley Porch. Huebner had it stubbed by Porch at the net, and Addie Deal was in the just kind of underneath the net, unable to get the right trajectory and defy physics to get it over, and that's the way that set number 2 will end. 25-10 victory for the Cougars. Set number 3 coming up after this 2.5-minute break on KGFX and streaming on drgnews.com.
Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Do you want to join one of the oldest established organizations in Fort Pierre? Perhaps you are more interested in protecting the future. Whatever your position, the Fort Pierre Volunteer Fire Department is for you. We are responsible for fire protection in Fort Pierre and Stanley County. Become part of this amazing team by stopping down at the fire hall and discussing enrollment. We are not just limited to adults, as we have a new cadet program for students ages 14 to 18. For more information, click on our banner ad on the homepage. From everyone at the fire hall, go Buffs!
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Dakota Pro Air is a locally family-owned business that has been taking care of farmers' aerial needs since 2020. With locations in Letcher and Miller, Dakota Pro Air is able to provide service to a large area. Ground conditions too wet, or just don't want those sprayer tracks in your field? Give Dakota Pro Air a call for all your chemical and fertilizer application needs at 605-248-2314.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Part of set number 3 here in Parkview. I'm Justin Cowart, bringing you all the live action. Kadoka area with a firm grasp on this match here, leading 2-0. And the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes still with their vibes high. A lot of smiles, a lot of excitement over on that bench, and love to see that. TJ Dragos did talk to us in our Bank West pregame show about what she wanted to see. She wanted to see high energy, good communication from her girls tonight. Well, the energy is certainly there, and the communication has been good, but it has just been an overpowering performance from the Kadoka area Cougars, led by Haley and Shailene Porch. Landon Kane has had some great serves, and Madison Nemechek has just been dominant up front for Kadoka area here this evening. The Lady Buffaloes will get the first serve here in set number 3. Big thanks to Brian Menning for manning the camera tonight, and Haley Hansen for keeping us up on the air back in the studio. Carly Brady will serve, and set number 3 is underway, and it starts with a service error. Look out, Brecken Huebner. She was a little bit surprised by that ball coming flying by. Carly Brady getting some uplifting words from her teammates. She's still sporting that patented smile. 1-0 Kadoka area. And Shailene Porch on to serve. Austin Norman with a nice dig, but it caught Brecken Huebner and Carly Brady in no man's land up near the net. That has been one of the best assets here tonight for Kadoka area, has been some dominant serving. They have put some nice cushioned leads together, staving off any possible comebacks from the Lady Buffaloes. Nice kill by Brecken Huebner, dug out by the Cougars and killed by Madison Nemechek. And it's quickly 3-0. Shailene Porch traversing the baseline here underneath the mezzanine. Now she pops out from the far side of that back line. Side spinning serve, dug out by Sargent, played over by Brady for Huebner. Huebner swings across. And another nice kill is dug out by Timber Hansen somehow, some way with the left hand. And Brianna Sargent doing whatever she can a couple of yards past that back line to try to get it over. Carly Brady was back there with the second touch, but man, that was a great first touch by Timber Hansen to just keep that point alive. Great coverage by Carly Brady to get over there. And Sargent trying to make the play, but just too much ground to cover. 4-0 Cougars trying to make it 5-0. A nice little soft touch in for Addie Deal as she gets the third touch. Kill comes across for Nemechek. She goes down to one knee to field it. Pushed across by Kane. Third touch coming for Deal on the setup from Brady. Swung across and kept alive by the Cougars. Nemechek, my goodness, she must have eyes in the back of her head. Her peripheral vision is absolutely outstanding. That kill went straight down the line. No room for error for Nemechek. It was almost as if she was targeting that back left corner. She was able to send it in for the point. 5-0 Cougars. Huebner trying to get on the board for Stanley County, and they do. Huebner with a gorgeous kill that clips the back line, and it's 1-5, Stanley County trailing. But that's a big point to shut off the momentum valve, if you will. Now Addie Deal on to serve. We'll see if she can put a nice little stretch together, get Stanley County back in this set. And that's not what the Lady Buffaloes needed, a service error by Deal, the second in this third set here for the Lady Buffaloes. So Kadoka area will be back on the serve, leading 6-1. And it will be Cassidy Williams, the sophomore, to send it across. First played by Norman, up for Huebner, and a battle at the net between Huebner and Porch is won by Huebner, but the point still plays on as the return just barely catches that far side coffin corner. Looked like Shailene Porch with the kill there. Don't let these Wegner Auto scoreboard scores fool you. Stanley County has been playing very well. It's just been unbelievable placement from Kadoka area all evening. As this serve is first touched by Deal, Timber Hansen came flying in with the second touch, just kind of darted in with the right hand. Sent it just low of the net. Too low for any of her teammates to try to get a third touch on. 8-1 Kadoka area. Another effortless serve there from Cassidy Williams. Austin Norman with a two-handed swing sends Williams backpedaling. Nemechek with the kill, dug out by Deal, saved by Brady, and the fourth touch will be by Austin Norman. There was a deflection by Brady mixed in there with that Brianna Sargent third touch, which looks like the second touch. And for those Kadoka area folks watching in, I hope they don't think I'm being disparaging about Cassidy Williams and her effortless serve. It's just so fluent. As we get a whistle and a rotation or a net violation, one of the two. It looks like a net violation against Stanley County, but Cassidy Williams does so with such ease. She just kind of strolls up to the line, kind of like a Sunday walk in the park. And just sends a gorgeous serve across every single time. This one was dug out by Hanson Hubner trying to get to it, but it was first touched by Haley Porch. There's been a couple battles at the net between Nemechek and both the Porches, and Brecken Hubner and Jerea Walker. Those four have been putting on a very fun show here tonight. We've got our first Agtegra timeout taken here of this third set. We'll take it with both the Lady Buffaloes and the Kadoka area Cougars. Cougars out in front in set number 3, leading 11-1 on our Wegner Auto scoreboard. We'll be back in 30 seconds with a word from Agtegra.
Bank West is rooted in South Dakota. Committed to local success. Just like you. We're all connected. In South Dakota. For South Dakota. Convenient, connected, committed. Bank West.
When life gets hard and
can maximize your farm's earning potential straight from the start. Contact your local Agtegra cooperative today. Agtegra been one of our great sponsors for a long time, sponsoring our timeouts. As the Cougars with an 11-1 lead here in set number 3, leading the match 2-0. And now the lead 12-1 is Austin Norman's return. Sails a bit long. And it has been tough. And I love to see the energy kept high by the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes. It's got to be tough to play from behind in all 3 of these sets, especially when you have been in the right places as Timber Hansen slides to dig out this serve. Second touch by Brady. Deal swung across from the back line. I'll continue my point after this point. Kill by Nemechek is in. And that kind of feeds to the point I was just making. Stanley County has done seemingly just about everything they need to. But the Kadoka area Cougars have had perfect placement on some of these kills, mainly by Nemechek, who is just seeing the floor with laser focus and vision. Hubner with a soft swing across. Hubner's had a nice night, as is Jerea Walker, but that kill gets by both Hubner and Timber Hansen. And another kill for Nemechek. She is well into the double digits, 18 by my count. As this is swung across on the serve, and another touch by Norman on the kill, and they're going to say that Norman was too close to the net. Tough for Austin Norman. That was a great kill. But a violation makes it 15-1 Kadoka area here in set number 3. Williams still on the serve, been running things. That touch by Hansen flies across the net and bounces about a foot out of bounds. Williams has signed a lease and is living back there on that back line. She's been great on this service stretch here for the Cougars. Looking to extend it. Kill somehow tight ropes along the top of the net, and at the last second falls in front of a diving Brianna Sargent. It's just plays like that. Everything seemingly been going the direction of the Kadoka area Cougars in Stanley County. Hey, they haven't gotten the benefit of some of those bounces. Cassidy Williams with a toss-up serve. We haven't seen that yet. That sure fired up the Kadoka area bench. Now that one looks like it had a lot of effort behind it. That's a serve I'm sure she's been working on in practice and maybe been struggling with. She's going to try the jump serve again. That one is going to catch the back line, says the official. And it's 19-1. And Kadoka area is fired up seeing the success here from Cassidy Williams. And I think Williams wants to try to run the table here. Another jump serve, another ace. I think Cassidy Williams, she may be talking to Maggie Thompson after this one saying, why haven't you been doing this serve the entire season? Because if it is something that she has been working on, well, she's been working very hard at it. checking into the game here for the Lady Buffaloes, or the match, I should say, as this serve sails a bit long for Cassidy Williams, and it brings a long reign to an end. A nice run by Cassidy Williams gets the lead up to the Kadoka area Cougars to 18. Wanted to remind you, Myla Keefe just checked in for the Lady Buffaloes, hoping she has a longer stint than last time. She came in for one serve and then got checked down after a service error. This kill is a bit long for the Kadoka area Cougars. That was off the hands of Cassidy Williams. She must be so used to serving from distance. She's got to retrain her distance control up at the net. Huebner with the serve, dug out by the Cougars. Nemechek with the kill, beautifully dug out by Addie Deal. One touch and across for the Lady Buffaloes. Sitting Nemechek up again are the Cougars. This time Deal couldn't get to it. And it makes it 21-3. Alexa Fernandez will check out. Kara Schofield will check back in for Maggie Thompson and the Cougars. Also checking in is a new face as Brianna Sargent is out. Lainey Misteller is in, a freshman for the Lady Buffaloes. And Misteller not on the same page with Addie Deal. That serve goes right in between Deal and Misteller. A nice serve by Landon Kane. We've seen Landon Kane go on a pretty long charge here, and Addie Deal and Misteller and Timber Hansen all laughing, keeping the energy high. Love to see that. Of course, Misteller getting some minutes here at this varsity level, something she isn't used to, obviously not checking into many matches, but getting the feel here early as this return goes a bit long. But it is kind of interesting. It's fun to see some of these Stanley County Lady Buffaloes picking up the freshman Misteller in the middle of the match. They're just kind of guiding her. That's the communication that Dragiset was talking about that's going to be so crucial. This one first touch by Timber Hansen. Myla Keefe trying to set up Jorea Walker on the kill, and that one is true. Landon Kane couldn't stop that one. Great passing and great setting by the Lady Buffaloes. And Jorea Walker, although it might be a little bit too late, trailing 23-4 here in the third set. That is a positive sight for TJ Dragiset. Now, on the serve for the Lady Buffaloes will be Misteller. Laney with a nice first serve. This kill is deflected at the net at first by Jorea Walker. That's a hard kick to the right. Myla Keefe with great effort to get down to it. She kept it alive, but it bounced into the net. So way to go, Laney. Got her first serve. It didn't amount to a point, but hey, you know what? It got over there and it surely set up a point. So great job by Laney. This is match point here for the Lady Cougars as they send it across. Beautiful save by Keefe. Swung across by Jorea Walker. And it's killed and finished by Kara Schofield. And that will be the end of the match. Set 3 goes to the Kadoka area Cougars 25-4. They win it in 3 straight sets and get their 24th win of the season, moving them to 24-7. Stanley County will now fall to 6-18. with a couple regular season matches left to come. We'll recap all of it for you as we are getting set for our Family Dental of Pierre and Gettysburg post-game show. We'll be right back after this short break. Give you the recap of this match, look ahead to the final regular season games of both of these crews, and we'll get you out of here on this gorgeous Tuesday night. We'll be back after this short break on KGFX and DRGnews.com.
Get too much to bear. Finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start stop technology, you'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierce, South Dakota.
Generational success means different things to different people. But to us, it means seeing my daughter follow in my footsteps.
keeping the farm in the family. Just getting to do this every day. We're Agtegra Cooperative, and we're generationally successful. That's who we are. Agtegra Cooperative.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
The Corner Station Convenience Store.
Tonight, we'll have the coverage right here on KGFX. Should begin around 7 o'clock, and the match should get underway just south of 7:30. And then on the 28th, the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes will wrap up their season against Jones County. One more regular season game here for the Kadoka area Cougars, as they will close it up with Lakota Tech on the 28th. They'll get a week full of rest. And it doesn't look like they need much rest. This was a dominant Cougar team tonight. Kind of going back through the scoring for you off our Wegner Auto scoreboard, 25-11 in set number 1 for the Cougars. They would keep that dominant streak going with a 25-10 victory in set number 2, and they would put the Lady Buffaloes away in set number 3, 25-4. Well, folks, if you enjoyed listening to tonight's game on KGFX, we want to remind you that we often have multiple broadcasts going on across our airwaves, and you should download the DRG News app to make your listening experience much more streamlined and much more enjoyable. It'll surely come in handy on Thursday night when we've got multiple high school playoff football games going on across our airwaves. And a quick scheduling and programming announcement for you on Thursday night on KMLO and KPLO. It will be Vikings football, but we will have 2 streams of Philip versus Esteline Hendricks on KPLO's station page at drgnews.com, and Harriet Selby area will take on Canastota on the station page of KMLO Thursday night. So just wanted to give you a heads up there. We will have high school playoff football on those station pages, even with Minnesota Vikings Thursday night football coming across the airwaves of KMLO and KPLO. And folks, as you make your way home, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds you to text or drive. There is no and. You've got some place to be. All right, folks, let's get to one of our favorite segments, our Bauman Lumber Player of the Game segment. Before we hand out this beautiful t-shirt, let's hear a word from our great friends who sponsor our Player of the Game at Bauman Lumber.
When you need building supplies, there's no need to go anywhere except to Bauman Lumber in Fort Pierre. Bauman Lumber is locally owned and offers quality products, expert advice, free estimates, and free local delivery for large or small projects. Whether it's a home improvement project, remodel job, or all new construction, they even welcome special orders. Quality building materials and affordable prices for residential or commercial projects can be found at Bauman Lumber, 1223 Sale Barn Road, Fort Pierre, or call 223-9762.
And this Player of the Game t-shirt could go a lot of different directions. You know, you looked at the way that Timber Hansen played tonight. She was all over the floor, sure got her steps in, was putting her body on the line. Addie Deal played pretty well, as did Jorea Walker and Brecken Hubner. I don't think for TJ Dragaset they were able to get Hubner and Walker as involved at the net as they would have hoped, but there is no denying the great play from the Cougars tonight. Haley Porch and Shaylee Porch played outstanding. Landon Kane had some great serves from the back line. Cassidy Williams did that as well, but Madison Nemechek was downright unstoppable today. It was kill after kill after kill. She was putting it in places where Lady Buffaloes were not. She was also putting it in places where Lady Buffaloes were, and was killing it so hard that they couldn't even get any returns. So, you know, just kind of really quick before we hand out our Bauman Lumber Player of the Game t-shirt, just kind of recap this night for the Lady Buffaloes. It was a tough loss in 3 straight sets, losing 25-11, 25-10, and 25-4, but a couple things for them to remember and to not hang their heads about. This is an outstanding Kadoka area Cougars team who's just about beat everybody that they have faced throughout this season. Their only losses have come to some of the top teams in the state and around the country, but also Stanley County was in the places that they needed to be. They did the things that they needed to do. The Cougars were just better at placement, and they get the benefit of some of those lucky bounces and lucky rolls. That's not to take away from the performance of Kadoka area tonight. They were downright impressive, but Stanley County does have a lot to build on, and they've got 2 important regular season matches to close out here over the next week and a half. So no time to hang your head, Lady Buffs. You got to be back in action on Friday night against Highmore Herald. But to wrap up our player of the game segment, it is Madison Nemechek who will be going home with the player of the game shirt tonight, sponsored by Bauman Lumber. Well, as I mentioned, our next coverage of Stanley County volleyball will be on Friday night against Highmore Herald. You'll be able to hear that right here on KGFX. Our next coverage on KGFX will be Thursday evening for Sully Butte's first round playoff matchup against Hitchcock Tulare. That one will kick off at 6:30. Our coverage will get going just after 6. Big thanks to all of our great sponsors who made broadcasting Stanley County volleyball possible here tonight at Avera Health, First Dakota National Bank, Access Health, the Stanley County Booster Club, Xander Auto Parts, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Bauman Lumber, Ferding Electric, and Dakota Plains Federal Credit Union. Big thanks to Bank West for sponsoring our pregame show, and South Dakota Office of Highway Safety for getting you home safe, Family Dental of Pierre and Gettysburg for sponsoring our postgame show, and Agtegra for sponsoring our timeouts. The Law on the Field and on the Court was brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection, and Bauman Lumber was not only our player of the game sponsor, but also our sports video sponsor. One final time on our Wegner Autos scoreboard sees the Stanley County Lady Buffaloes fall in 3 straight sets to the Kadoka area Cougars, 25-11, 25-10, and 25-4. For our cameraman, Brian Menning, for our great technical director back in the studio, Haley Hansen, I'm Justin Cowart saying so long on this Tuesday night. Stay tuned to drgnews.com for all our latest broadcast schedules. We'll see you back here on Friday night for some Stanley County volleyball as they take on Highmore Herald on KGFX and streaming live on drgnews.com.